I also bring along my massage gun.
Wait, on the trail?
No, not on the trail.
Okay. I was like, whoa, wait a second here. You could set up shop at Manzanita
I could.
and make some money.
Right? I could.
You're listening to the Grand Canyon Hiker Dude Show, the voice of Grand Canyon hiking. Presented by hiKin, hiking packs and gear built to help you hike your best hike. Here's your guide, Brian Special.
Oh man, this one kind of gets me right in the feels, not because of the content of the interview you're about to hear, but really because of where it was done. This interview was done in May of 2025, on opening day, in fact, of the North Rim, May 15th, 2025. And Zena, my wife, and I had driven up. We got a cabin for opening night. I remember being so excited just to get up to the canyon. You know, it's been closed since October the year before, and you're always excited for the North Rim to open. It always opens on May 15th, closes on October 15th. And so we were so excited driving up there. I remember the drive. I remember, getting to Marble Canyon. I remember Zena doing her first ever rim-to-rim, which was basically just crossing the Navajo Bridge over Marble Canyon and the Colorado River twice. So that was cool. That was a great experience. We had so much fun with that and made a video on that. And then we stopped in Jacob Lake on the way in, of course, to get some of those world-famous cookies. I remember meeting up with a couple of people from our group here who were taking the Trans-Canyon Shuttle, and they were stopping in Jacob Lake as well on their way to the North Rim. And I just remember the palpable excitement that really everyone had because, this is a bucket list, once-in-a-lifetime trip for so many people. I love feeding off that energy because obviously, I've done it so many times, but it just never gets old. And then we drive into the park, or start driving into the park, and you see the aspens and the pastures, the meadows. You pass Kaibab Lodge, you see all the pines, and it's just another world. It's just the most beautiful place and the most whimsical place. And here you are driving in for opening night, the first day the Grand Canyon Lodge has been open for the new season, and we get there and we check in and we have dinner in the dining room and just look out at the view over the canyon, and life was so good. Man, it was so good. It was no different than it had ever been, everything was as it should be. And then we went back to our cabin and hung out for a while because I was going to meet up with these four ladies who you're about to hear who were doing rim-to-rim. They'd started from South Kaibab and were coming up North Kaibab. I was going to meet up with them and record a podcast. And sure enough, I caught wind that there was a medical situation near the upper part of North Kaibab, near the North Kaibab trailhead, not far below it. A medical situation, and put everything together after a while and realized that someone had passed away on the hike up, and had just really kind of gotten that news, kind of off the record, behind the scenes. Had just found out about it, and I remember we were in our cabin, and I remember hearing a helicopter roaring right overhead, as it had clearly taken off from the area around the North Kaibab trailhead and was headed back to the South Rim. But it's a little bit jarring to hear those helicopters on the North Rim because you just don't expect it, right? It's late in the afternoon, the sun's going down, and you got this helicopter roaring overhead. And I remember I kind of knew what it meant, that helicopter was going back with a hiker's body, or it was going back empty. No good either way. But that gentleman who passed away was a 74-year-old from Washington. He was a doctor. Everyone said that he was in just magnificent shape, and everything that he did was built on trying to live the longest possible life that he could. So I know that was a huge shock to his family and to his friends. Dr. Dennis Smith of Washington, 74 years old. So that was a sad start to the season on the North Rim. But those four ladies had gotten held up by that situation. They'd been stopped farther down the trail from where they were trying to resuscitate this gentleman. And so that delayed them by quite a bit. So by the time we were able to connect, it was around 9 o'clock. It was dark outside, and I, cruised on down to the lodge from my cabin and set up shop with our microphones and pulled some of those leather couches together in the great room in there where you have the incredible view of the canyon. I remember looking out. Obviously, it's dark, but you look across to the South Rim and you see all the lights over there. You see some headlamps on South Kaibab or Bright Angel across the way, and you just know that's another world away. Even though it's 12 miles away to the South Rim, it's another world away. And I just remember thinking that, and then these four ladies showed up and sat down, and we did it basically in darkness, which seemed very fitting. But we were sitting there in the great room at Grand Canyon Lodge, and little did I know that was going to be when I walked out of there at 10 o'clock after finishing up with them, and the interview was over, and I packed up my stuff, and I was trying to get back to my room because I was going to leave for a rim-to-rim to the other side. My wife was going to drop me off at, I think it was 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning that I was going to start because it was supposed to be a hot day the next day, and I was not going to mess with the heat coming up South Kaibab. I refuse to take those chances anymore if I can help it. So we were going to start early, but I remember just walking out of the lodge and obviously not thinking anything of it, and walking in the darkness back to my cabin. And little did I know that was I wish I would have turned around and taken it all in and turned around and looked back at the lodge, because obviously I didn't know at the time, but that was going to be the last time that I ever stepped foot in Grand Canyon Lodge or in one of those cabins. And then less than 2 months later, the Dragon Bravo fire would roar through and it would all be gone. So, looking back at this interview, which was an important interview, I think, because there was just so much good information that these ladies gave about what to pack, where to stay, how to train, what to eat, and everything else for rim to rim. But of course, you can apply this to any hike in the Grand Canyon. So I think it's important information. I'm glad to be able to look back on it. But man, just a trip down memory lane a little bit, and a little bit emotional just to think about it all, because so many of us, that North Rim Lodge, the Grand Canyon Lodge, just has a place in our heart that will never go away, and it just still feels pretty raw that it was only 6 months ago, and it just feels like we should be gearing up again here in January for the next rim to rim season, but obviously that's not going to happen for quite some time. So I miss the lodge, but I'm glad that my wife and I were able to make memories there, and I'm glad so many of you were able to make memories there as well. And they will rebuild. It will be back in some form at some point. We obviously don't know when that will be, but man, that will be a day to celebrate. So anyhow, Jackie Kunkel, Kendra Yost, Carrie Repke, and Ashley Young. By the end of this, we were calling them Jackie and the Crazies. Super fun conversation done at the Grand Canyon Lodge on the North Rim last May on opening day of Rim to Rim season 2025 that was cut oh so short. This is the Grand Canyon Hiker Dude Show, powered by hiKin.
On our way up, we were really happy that we were almost done with the hike, because we had started very early in the morning, and we had gotten stopped by a volunteer ranger just before Coconino Overlook. And they had told us that there was a medical emergency up a little farther and that we might just want to hang out here. So we had thought, well, let's go see how far we can go. And we got up to close to within about 30 yards of the medical emergency. And another volunteer came down and asked us if we would just stay there. All hikers were asked to stay kind of behind where we were. And what we had heard was that, really sad, a gentleman, we don't know the circumstances, but what had trickled down was that a gentleman had cardiac arrest, and they were working to revive him. And we had seen a helicopter come in. We had seen family up there at the the point where they were working on him because we were about 30 yards away. And
they had a tarp for privacy.
Yes.
They had a tarp.
So they had a tarp to cover the scene
They
as
had
they
a
were
tarp to
working
cover
on
the
him.
scene so we couldn't see what was going on for privacy and respect.
So we waited, and it was good, probably hour and 20 minutes until we were then told.
Well, can we back up a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
So they did the AED defibrillator, that they had used that on him about 4 times. And then there were several people there trying to perform CPR on him as well. I don't know how long after that we actually saw an IV. And so we thought that was a good sign. Okay, like, you know, he's revived. They are giving him fluids, so that's got to be good. And then I want to say it was probably 45 minutes, 50 minutes after that is when one of the volunteers came down to us and said, you know, we're going to have you guys start coming up single file, just walk by. And they were very nice and respectful about it. And so when we got in single file line and we started walking up, and I necessarily didn't really want to look over. I mean, I was curious, but I just, out of respect. But it was hard not to notice that when you walked up that this gentleman was laying on a tarp, and then a tarp was covering him, and you couldn't see any movement. Like, it was just no movement.
They had his body covered. When the family was there. When we surfaced out at the trailhead, there was an ambulance and some medics there speaking with some people. So we can only assume the worst had happened.
Left.
Yeah, the helicopter had left.
A helicopter had come in. And then we were like, well, okay, if the helicopter's here, then that's got to be a good sign. But then, the helicopter never showed. Like, they never came and got him.
So, I mean, our assumption was obviously the worst. Everybody was very, very respectful, very somber. Not a terrific end of the day for anybody,
I mean, no one said one word when they walked by.
No.
I mean, we were probably one of the first ones to walk by, but you could just tell everybody was just very quiet, respectful, it's like they were paying their respects to the family. And
I mean, this was just a few hours ago.
Yes.
You guys, obviously your hike was delayed, and you had to get out of there and get back to the Grand Canyon Lodge finally, take your shower, have dinner. So it's been a few hours now, but I mean, is any of this sinking in? I mean, how are you guys? How are you handling it? I mean, you're okay? That's a traumatic thing to see.
Yeah, actually, when we got back to the cars and we came back to the lodge, I actually thought, I don't think I want to do this again. I really thought, well, I don't want to chance it. And we've got plans to come back next year. And I thought, is this something that I'm going to continue doing? It was unreal.
Yeah.
Like what we just witnessed and what we just saw, that could happen to any of us.
Yeah.
One thing too is when we were talking to the rangers, and they were, of course, saying we're sorry. We got to hold you up, but everybody would say it's okay. We want the best for what's ever happening to the person. Mm-hmm. And so really, our hearts go out to the family.
Of course, I'm sorry that you guys had to go through that too. Just a sad situation all the way around. Obviously, just being a few hours removed, there's nothing official yet that anybody's heard. But you guys were obviously there and saw, and we know what happened. And hopefully, by the time this podcast comes out, we have some more details on exactly what happened. The one thing I did hear is that NPS, because it was 0.3 miles down the trail, search and rescue was able to get to him, I think, within 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And so, and they got the AED on him and did everything that they could. So, heroic effort by them as always. They have to deal with these situations, almost on a daily basis, not necessarily to this level with this outcome, but, the NPS and the search and rescue teams deserve our gratitude as well. But man, what What an awful way to end a hike, And of course, it's not about you guys. It's about this gentleman and his family. But wow, our thoughts of course go out to him, and it's just another reminder of the dangers of hiking in the canyon, no matter what happened to him. But let's transition a little bit here, and because this is a day of celebration. This is supposed to be a time when you're celebrating. This is something that you guys have worked towards for so long now, and I know you did it. You did it already last September.
So Carrie and I did it in September.
Right. And we had you on the podcast,
yep,
and you were
yep,
fantastic.
Yep. And Ken, thank you.
Wasn't she, guys?
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Kendra did it in May of last
1 year
year
ago.
with. So it was
Opening
been
day.
1 year. She did it with some of her other friends, and Ashley, you did it.
2017.
2017.
I
Okay.
did north to south.
But the first time, all four of you together.
Yes.
Yes.
So how did this all come together with the four of you finally saying, you know what, let's do this, girls? Of course, it's Jackie. Everyone's pointing at Jackie, the
Jackie.
ringleader here.
Yes, I was the instigator. And I think, I had instigated it in September on the way to the canyon with Carrie and our niece Becky, who did it with us in September. I said,
Right.
I just want you to know I have those reservations
Yes, I remember
in
this.
May. As soon as we were done with the hike, they're like, okay, we're in. And unfortunately, Becky couldn't do it this year, which is why Ashley came with us. And Kendra's like, I'm in. So that's how we kind of all, got to. And May, I want to tell you what, May is, we had fantastic weather today.
Yeah.
May was much cooler
Yeah.
than September.
Yeah, you got a much better chance at least of it being
Yeah.
cooler. And this early in the season, it's going to be in the 90s tomorrow in South Kaibab when I head over there.
Yeah, I don't
Not
envy you.
not looking forward to that. Going south to north is definitely the way to do it, especially this season. But you guys doing this as a group with four of you, how was it with just the whole accountability thing as you prepared for it? What were you doing to prepare? Because I see your Facebook posts. You're in our Facebook group, and you guys are always updating everyone, which is fabulous and so helpful. What were you doing to train and hold each other accountable to what you had coming up?
Well, so the first thing I had my husband, who's sitting over
Rod,
there.
let's go.
I had
Cookie
him,
man.
the cookie man, and he did bring us cookies today.
Of course he did. He's got a role. He knows
Yes,
it.
I had him redo the spreadsheet, and he actually did.
spreadsheet.
Yes, the
Oh my God.
spreadsheet, and what he did was he added in, which was really cool for us to kind of see. He added in, you know how last year I wrote the times that we arrived at each place?
Yeah, I remember.
He made that an actual column so we could have it compare our time this year to our time in September.
Yeah.
So that was kind of nice to have.
Kind of gamify it a little bit.
Yeah. So that was one thing. But I did hold the girls to Zoom calls like I did,
Yeah?
right? So
You guys do you live in different places?
Mesa.
Okay, all live in Phoenix, the Phoenix area. Okay, what did you guys think was the most effective? And we say this is a rapid reaction. You just came out. You don't know how sore you're going to be yet. But surely there are things that happened on the hike that you're like, wow, I'm glad I did that to train for. What do you think were the best training methods that
I
you
had
guys
know
had?
what you did.
Unless they want to go, let them go.
Well, I
I've
would
been
say
talking
all of us are active. All of us go to the gym. All of us stay strong.
That's the most important thing by far.
Carrie and Ashley are runners. Jackie definitely does lots of hiking. I like to bike and hike. So we're all active, but to bump it up to Grand Canyon, we actually, have to do more distance and more elevation because we don't get that usually in just our daily hikes and workouts. So that's pretty much what we did, keeping distance, keeping it longer, and then doing more elevation.
Like how much distance are we talking about, and like how often?
We usually try, well, Jackie probably gets out a little more than I do. I usually once a week. I think our longest one was 17 miles in
That was a
South
long
Mountain. And then our last hike, we went to Mount Wrightson
Yeah.
and did that before
Tucson?
taper. Yeah.
Is that Tucson? Mount Wrightson? Yeah.
Just south of
Tucson.
Tucson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but we all, one of the other things in addition to what Kendra's saying, one of the other things that we all do is we all have some regular workout too, other than like they run. I mean, you guys can speak for yourselves of what you do, but I mean, we do, we all lift weights, we all do that. So keeping our muscles strong. I mean, hiking and running are, one thing, but you still got to work your whole body. And so that I do it about 5 times a week. And my husband and I, we walk every morning. Every morning. If we're not hiking, we walk every morning. So we walk anywhere from like 3 to 5, maybe 6 miles, depending. And we don't just walk, we walk fast. So we're always on our feet.
So when you have those regular routines, right, it's building that foundational strength.
Yep.
And so training and ramping yourself up for something like the canyon, I assume that just makes it easier.
Yeah. Well, Ashley's got something she wants to tell
Let's
you.
go, Ashley.
Okay.
We're listening.
Thanks. Put me on the spot, Jackie.
Oh, what could this be?
Well,
We're talking about training.
I know, right? So, I run 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, I actually got a personal trainer. And I said, hey, I'm training for the Grand Canyon. So I would take my pack to my training sessions with me at 4:15 in the morning, twice a week. And then the other days I would run. But anyway, so I'd go to my training session. I'd wear my pack with 20-pound weights in it. And then he would have me do specific exercises. Like I would do box jumps, or I would do step up, step down, step up,
with
step
the weight.
down. With the weight.
Oof.
With my pack on with the 20 pounds in it. And then on my own, I would go to the gym like in the evening, maybe that same day or the next day, and I would do the Stairmaster, like on a level 6. And then I'd wear my pack with the weights for like 45 minutes. And then maybe the next day I would do like 30 minutes and 10 weights or 10-pound weights. And hands down, I felt so prepared because I have short legs and there are quite tall steps.
Oh, there are.
And doing those box jumps or step up, step down, step up, like really helped my hip mobility and also helped me mentally because I could see what was coming. And knowing like, okay, I trained for this. I can do this. And so I would pep talk myself up. But then I'd also say, what would Brandon do? Because he was my trainer.
Shout out, Brandon.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I would do is run 3 times a week and then do training sessions and then do the Stairmaster. But I would always do it like with a pack on my back with either 20 pounds or 10 pounds.
So Stairmaster and the step ups and step downs, that's what you think was the key today?
Oh, 100%. And like I did it for about an hour. So, my sessions and stuff. And then when I did the Stairmaster, it would be like 45 minutes or a half an hour.
And everybody talks about doing those kind of things.
Yeah.
And they talk about the steps. And if they've never been at the Grand Canyon before, they probably think we're talking about going up with the steps.
Right.
But those steps will take it out of you when you're going down them. So how much did those exercises help with the going down part?
Oh, so he would also have me like even do sideways, stepping down from the box jumps.
Yeah, that's smart.
So to help my knees.
Yeah.
And to help my hips. So it was interesting because there were a lot of times we were going down steps and we were going sideways today just to protect our knees and our hips. And so that really helped.
You're already used to doing that.
Right, right. I was already used to doing that.
That's a great tip.
Yeah, yeah. So it was very helpful to step up, step down, but then also sideways.
With poles too?
No, I did not.
You didn't use poles?
Well, no, I used poles during the hike, but not during my training.
Oh, sure, not during the training, but going
but during
down.
the hike, yes.
So it helped to go down sideways and using the poles to kind of take some more
because
weight
it protected my knees too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We used the phrase today, plant and pivot.
Yeah,
I love it.
Plant the poles, pivot, and then step
And
down.
I could see you guys going down for you with the headlights on, the headlamps on, and
yes.
plant and pivot, girls, plant and pivot.
Yes.
A mantra.
Yeah, it was definitely, and encouraging each other too definitely helped. Like being each other's cheerleader.
Were you guys able to? So you come up here today to do South Kaibab to North Kaibab. You started at 2:07 a.m. because I was following you on Garmin inReach. 2:07 a.m.
You were awake at 2:07.
I was. No, I wasn't, but I saw that you started. I saw that you started, and then I thought, man, I'm just waking up here in Phoenix. I got to get ready, and then we got to drive and take our time getting to the North Rim, and they're still going to be hiking.
Yeah.
That just shows you how long of a day it
Yeah.
actually is. But you started at 2:07. Were you guys able to stay together for the most part? Was there
the
was there
entire time?
Was there a plan beforehand? Did you guys talk about it?
So you guys can chime in on this, but my mantra when I hike, and this goes back to May of 2020 when I was out for a hike with my husband and Carrie and another friend of ours, and it's on a trail that we had done like a million times or a good amount of times. And I was half a mile from the parking lot and I stepped on a rock wrong and I broke my ankle, twisted it and broke my ankle. And so ever since then, I'm like, never hike alone. Never hike alone.
Yeah.
Just don't ever hike alone. So I feel like having friends with you and around you, and even if I don't like to be like too far in front or too far behind, because you need to be conscious of what the others are doing. I'm like, no hiker left behind. That's what I feel like.
Okay, so you guys did. That was when you guys started today. That was the plan, that you're sticking
Yes.
together no matter
Oh,
what.
sure. What do you think, Carrie?
No, I agree. And so what we did was we had an order. What did you call it, Ashley? 1, 2, and 3.
Crazy 1, crazy 2, crazy
1,
3, and crazy 4.
Love it.
So there was an order, and so we'd switch the order up, but we always made sure that we stuck together and we kept encouraging each other to
hallucinate
get
together.
through. Yes, we did hallucinate at times, but yes, we encouraged
Little delusional.
one another to keep going forward. It works.
So seriously, someone was in the crazy one, and you guys just
and we
kept
would just
switching
switch
positions.
switch positions.
That's a great plan.
Yeah.
And did that just happen like organically?
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Well, we're all pretty good friends, so
Beautiful.
yeah, it did happen pretty
It
organically.
did.
So you start at 207.
Yeah.
The sun's probably coming up when? As you get down below Skeleton, maybe?
It came up, it was around Skeleton, I think. Not quite. It was up at tip-off.
If you're stopping every time you need fuel, you're hiking the hard way. hiKin packs put what you need up front with a front access harness and 6 built-in pockets. That means your snacks, water, essentials are always within reach while you keep moving. Our Rim-to-Rim pack and Canyon Elite both carry 25 liters. The Canyon Elite gives you extra support with a hip belt. Hike your best hike at hikin.club. That's HIKIN.club.
That can be tough hiking in the dark for that long. It gets old looking down at the artificial light. It gets old if you've been in the canyon, knowing what you're missing with the views, right?
Oh, I got some great night shots, though.
How great can they be? Come
They
on.
were beautiful. They were beautiful. The moon was out.
Oh, now that's beautiful.
And when we were
I didn't know
in
that.
September, we had no moon, so we had just had stars.
Just
but
stars.
it was absolutely gorgeous. And the one thing that all 4 of us remarked about is how many people were on the trail today.
Even at 2 o'clock?
Oh my
Yes.
gosh!
Really?
The taxi
Runners.
driver.
Oh,
with
the runners, yeah.
The
Yeah.
taxi driver told us we were not the first people he picked up.
No kidding.
He picked us up at 10 of 2, something like that, and he said that there was people that he picked up at 11:30. I don't know. I think we were his 4th pickup. And then there were so many people that were coming. It was like at one point you could just see this trail of lights.
The lights.
And that is pretty cool.
It was, and we remarked that, like in September, we saw 3 people in the dark, wasn't it?
In September, there was 3 people we saw.
That was it.
That was it.
And this time everyone was going one way. I doubt there was
Yeah.
anybody coming
Right.
back up, right?
Well, there were
At this
people
point?
coming back up as it got
From Phantom-
light.
from Phantom,
Yeah, from
yeah.
Phantom.
Later on.
But even then, there was coming down today, dark and light. I mean,
What's that?
It was like
what was that like?
lot of people.
What was that like after the darkness, seeing the light touch the canyon for
Oh,
the first
it's-
time? What were you guys saying to each other?
Spectacular colors.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. You have to see it in person.
It's like, this is why we're doing it.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't think pictures do it justice.
Never.
It never does.
Never.
Like to see it with your eye, behold it with your own eye is like, it's like God just got a paintbrush and just did his work. I mean, it's amazing. You have to see it for yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what was the did you guys have a pace that you were trying to maintain? Was there a time goal at all? Having all done it before, you guys had to have a pretty good idea of what you were shooting for.
I think I mean, for me, and I don't want to speak for these guys, but they can tell you what they think. For me, hiking for me is more about the journey and enjoying the surroundings. I don't necessarily need to set a pace. I mean, there are some things, like I knew that, like in September especially when it was warm, I knew we needed to be at Phantom by a certain time and out because
'Cause of the heat.
it was going to get hot.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, those were the kind of goals we had then. And today it wasn't as much of that. All I said was, I don't want to be hiking out in the dark.
You almost made it.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, you had help.
Yeah.
Unfortunate help. But
We got out before it got dark today, but
so what time did you? What was the total time at the end of the day?
so I looked. So if we had gotten out when we thought we were going to get out,
Yeah.
it would have been actually 15 minutes sooner than we had gotten out last year. So it would have been total time on trail would have been 15 hours and like 10 minutes.
Which is
something
pretty
like
much
that.
what you were expecting when you
Right,
started.
and our hiking time today, now, because that 15 hours includes, when every stop you
Yeah.
take and all that. Our total hiking time was 14 hours and 8 minutes, so that we were actually moving.
Here's what I want to know, Jackie, and the rest of you as well. This is an important topic because Jackie introduced us all to the world of payday last year.
Oh, yes.
Right? So tell us your best fueling tips. I want to hear this from all of you guys. This is important. Everyone always wants to know, what do I need to pack? What should I leave at home? Payday was introduced to us last year. What do you got for us this year?
Okay. You want to start with me, or
You can start with the ringleader
okay.
here, yes.
So this year, I brought my paydays, and I ate my
course.
paydays. I ate the paydays. Peanut
And
butter.
She did offer to share them.
And I did offer to share them, yes. I brought with me, we have gotten now into this little ritual of making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at night, because Carrie brings the bread, the peanut butter and jelly, and we make that, and that's usually our breakfast. Which can I digress just a minute?
Of course, that's all we do here.
And then we'll get back into the food thing. So speaking of breakfast, so we got up, we had to get up early, right?
Yes.
So last night, the four of us, well, actually the six of us, we were all staying in Tucson, and we went to bed. I was in bed at 7:30 thinking, I'm going to get a good solid 5 hours of sleep, right? No such luck. I got 1 hour of sleep because, little unbeknownst to me, it was happening down the hallway too. There were people running up and down the hallway, slamming the doors and banging on things, and I'm like, I was just beside myself. And Ashley termed me, what did you term me? You called me the...
Oscar the Grouch.
Oscar the Grouch.
Yes.
When she saw me this morning,
grouchy.
I was very grouchy. I said, I had 1 hour of sleep.
And now I got to go hike all the way across
yes.
the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, but she's maybe I won't say that.
Oh no, say it. You already said
the
it.
F-bomb like 3
do.
Oh,
times.
Jackie, how dare you? We never say that around here.
I don't usually, but it was one of those things. I was very grouchy.
Understandable.
And anyway, so my breakfast. So before we go hiking, I want to have something in my stomach. So I'm like, oh God, I can't. And I was looking at the banana that I had, because I usually eat a banana before I work out. And I had to muscle that thing down, and I was like, this is not going well. And the peanut butter and jelly came with me. I ended up finishing it, and I cut it into 4 pieces because I thought, there's no way I'm getting this down anytime soon. But I did. So we had peanut butter and jelly, and then I brought beef jerky, mango habanero, really good. Get it at Costco, really good. I had a lot of carbohydrates, but I upped my protein this time. So I had that, and Carrie and I had a really good sandwich. We stopped in Flagstaff on the way up, and we didn't know we could order the sandwiches in halves, and we ordered whole sandwiches. We couldn't eat the whole sandwich. So I said, we should take the other half and bring it with us. So we each had our lunch at 7 a.m. this morning at Phantom Ranch.
Nice. Nice. What did you guys find out worked for you?
Well, I would definitely say beef jerky because that's the salty. And then I brought Sour Patch Kids watermelon flavor for sugar. And then bread. Yes, but I would definitely say something sweet and something salty and electrolytes.
Do you think it was effective today?
Oh,
that strategy?
100%. And I normally can bloat pretty easily, and I didn't feel bloated at all the entire time. And I definitely felt so. I had my bladder in my pack, but I also had a second like a little water bottle on the side of my pack. So like when we stopped at stations that had water, I would fill up my water bottle with electrolytes and drink that before we would take off again. And then I would have my water in my pack in between, water stations. But I would definitely say something sweet, something salty, and electrolytes for sure.
Did you guys plan your stops? Was that part of like the spreadsheet? Like we're stopping here and...
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Well, you looked at the water where it was going to be.
Oh, that's true. I did.
It was going to be turned off.
And interestingly enough, so yeah, I looked at the water last night because you know how the Park Service tells you where the water's turned on, and it said it was just Phantom Ranch and Manzanita, but it was turned on everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Wait, was it on at Supai Tunnel?
Yep.
Oh,
and it was
surprising.
on. It was on at Cottonwood as well.
But not at the North Kaibab Trailhead.
No.
Well, you guys wouldn't.
No,
need
we
it
wouldn't
by
need
then.
it anyway.
But
But
it's
the
still out there.
the guys.
Supai was on. That's the most
Yeah.
unreliable of all of them.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Rod and Tom came down with water bottles, and we ended up not needing them, so they gave them to some of the hikers that were coming through.
Oh, nice.
So, so some of the planned stops, we always stopped where there was a bathroom, always.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always a planned stop. But
Always important to check the water
Yep.
the day of, because as you guys find out, it can change even the day of. So okay, let's keep going down the line. What the best fueling options you guys came up with today?
For me, it's going to be peanut butter and jelly.
Before the hike and on the trail?
Yes, I'm a peanut butter junkie.
Yeah.
Especially Justin's.
Justin's
I gotta
peanut
throw it
butter.
out there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'd say what Ashley was saying, that the salt I definitely needed, and something sweet. But the electrolytes, I think, for me, really helped a lot with the fluids. Just the electrolytes were so important. But I'll go back to peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
and we had,
Old
and
people.
we had the cookies I made too.
Oh, cookies.
I made chocolate covered raisin oatmeal.
But it sounds like she
cookies.
should have made peanut butter cookies. Yeah.
She didn't have any problem eating those cookies either.
Okay.
Well, I started the day with Carrie's peanut butter and jelly sandwich. She brought bread and jelly and peanut butter. So we made those last night. So that was what our breakfast was. Jackie brought bananas. So I had to force myself to eat that at 1 o'clock tonight. And also started with electrolytes. And so I have the two little pockets on my pack. One had peanut butter pretzels. The other had like the Bob's Red Mill bars. And so what I do is I cut them in half, so I know each of them is like 100 calories. And I try to time it, so every 30 minutes I'm usually having at least 100 calories. So every 30 minutes and then an hour, so I'm keeping my glycogen stores going. And the same thing with Ashley, I have an extra bottle, so when we stop, I'll have electrolytes, plus salt tabs as we go.
So much of the Grand Canyon advice you'll find online is loud, confusing, and just flat out wrong. That's why Hike Club Grand Canyon exists on Facebook. It's a judgment-free hiking community where hikers help hikers, and where you can have direct access to Brian, Coach Arnie, and guests from this show. You want real answers, so you can hike the canyon with confidence. This is where you belong. Search for Hike Club Grand Canyon on Facebook and join our conversation today.
And everybody's happy with the way it turned out.
Yeah, we were all on top
Good
of one
job.
another with the salt
That's
salt
amazing.
sticks and the electrolytes. We were making sure we were all drinking them and or sucking on the salt sticks.
I
And
had electrolyte salts like in a tube, so I would just kind of take a little shot of that and then drink my water, and that really helped.
Man, you guys are impressive. I hope everyone's listening to this, because the nutrition hydration thing is so hard for everyone to dial in. It's always changing, but you guys have experience in the canyon, so it's really cool that you guys seem to have really figured out what works for you. And what works for one might not work for the other. It's important
Right.
to remember that. But you guys had a strategy, and it sounds like it worked. And I'm going to be going back and listening to this and taking notes just like I did. I got some paydays in my pack for tomorrow morning. Jackie.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you got a
so-
couple cookies too.
and a couple cookies that you brought for me. I appreciate that. And then maybe, I'll be doing that peanut butter and jelly thing here pretty soon too. So very good. Well, it's just a few hours removed. So you guys all have canyon experience as well. So how do you feel now physically compared to how you might have felt the first time? Do you think you got away with it? You think you got through it without having too much of a chance of having the famous canyon shuffle tomorrow morning?
Well, I can say for myself, as soon as one of the things that we actually did at every stop is we stretched. We were really good diligent about stretching and even massaging. Like Dr. Arnie says, he said he was saying something about putting your thumb in your calves and your feet, and so I was doing that. And we were stretching a lot. So that, I think, will help in the recovery. And then I also bring along with me my massage gun and a foam roller. So
Wait, on the trail?
No, not on the trail.
Okay. I was like, whoa, wait a second here. You could set
No.
up shop at
Yeah, I
Manzanita
could.
and make some money.
Right? I could.
You could.
I could. No, when we got back to the room, I used that. We had stretched. Actually, while we were waiting to leave the canyon for that hour and 20, we stretched quite a bit while we were there. And then when we got out, I got back to the room and I used the massage gun and I put my legs up on the wall. Laid on the bed and put my legs up on the wall. So I think I was a little more prepared this time than last time.
I'm really fascinated by the whole stretching thing, that you guys actually had the discipline and took the time to do something like that. And so that was regularly scheduled, like intervals that you did that?
I mean, it was when we stopped, right? I mean, it was
Yeah,
when
we stopped and you're like, oh, we should stretch. And so then the first stop, the first stop we didn't need to. But I think it was Phantom Ranch is where we were like, let's just stretch, because we knew we would be there a little bit for lunch, like about a half an hour.
And just for a minute or two?
Yeah, we stretched, and then we decided just to stretch from that point on. Any stops that we made.
I was doing hamstring. I was eating my sandwich and doing hamstring stretches.
Love it.
Yeah.
So
Multitasking.
Yeah, that's very efficient.
I would say that at every potty break is when we stretched. Let's be honest.
yeah, that's true.
Well, that was kind of stretching too, using the potty.
Right. Because you have to climb upstairs every time you go to use them.
Yes, you have to. That's right. You have to go.
This is so interesting to listen to. And the difference between a group of women hiking and a group of men hiking. I mean, I'm telling you right now, if I'm hiking with three dudes, we're not worried about the bathroom stops and definitely not worried about stretching. But I think it goes to show you that the females are the smarter sex. Let's just face it, because this just makes sense.
We're just not going to disagree with you on that, Brian.
I mean, I am outnumbered here, but I do mean that, because that's just, you guys were intentional about the things that you did. You took everything seriously, right down to stretching during bathroom breaks. That is impressive, and I think there's a lot that. Well, what was that? What I missed there?
No.
I heard something from the.
No, you're right on.
No,
you're right on.
Okay.
No, I mean, I think you have to be if you want to recover appropriately. And
It's not only about having a great hike, but the recovery after. If you do everything right, that's going to be better.
And I mean, the other nice thing about that, we did meet a lot of really nice people today. The camaraderie on not just the Grand Canyon hike, but any hike. You meet some really great people when you're out there hiking. You just really do. We were chatting with a lot of different people, and we would see them, we'd be leapfrogging one another, and, we'd chit-chat. We'd take pictures for them. They'd take pictures for us, that kind of thing. And yes, some people were stretching other than us, too. And there were some guys that were stretching. Just saying.
Yeah. Okay, good. Good to hear. Good to hear. I'm going to be inspired by that in a couple hours here when I hit the trail to head back to the South Rim. Guys, this has been amazing sitting here with you in the Grand Canyon Lodge on opening night. We can look back across the canyon right now and see all the lights on the South Rim. It's another world up here. God, isn't it just amazing? And you guys get to finally get to bed and wake up tomorrow, and I assume breakfast, and then you're out of here, or what?
Yeah. We're gonna do breakfast, and then we're gonna take our time driving, hit a couple places on the way back, and then we're gonna go to the South Rim and probably walk around a little bit, and then we're back in Tucson, and we're staying at the hotel we stayed at. And we're going to get in the hot tub.
Let's go.
Because that's good recovery, too.
This is cool. It's such a cool story. You guys you're just taking your time. This is an entire experience, and it continues tomorrow, and it continues until you're out of here 2 days from now. That's, man, this is inspiring stuff. So grateful for you guys taking the time, because I know it has been a long day in more ways than one. I know you're ready to get to bed, but the insight that you've shared here today with our community is so appreciated, because I know there were so many takeaways that people are going to have from this. Just last thing before we go. Is Jackie and the Crazies coming back for another round together now that you guys have all done it together? Is this going to become a regular thing now that you've done it together?
Yeah, I think we should have T-shirts made now that you just
you
said
have
that.
to.
Jackie and the
You
Crazies.
have to. Jackie and the Crazies.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes.
You're funny. She was I got to tell you, the one girl that took pictures for us down at Phantom Ranch, she was hysterical. She took a bunch of pictures for us under the Phantom Ranch welcomes you sign. And what did she say? She said, she wanted to know who's the instigator, and everybody pointed to me.
Chief Crazy.
And then who was the fastest, and we all pointed to Carrie, I think. Mm-hmm. And then who was the slowest, we pointed to Kendra. And then who was the funniest, and we pointed to Ashley.
Perfect. Everyone has a role.
Yes.
So it was good.
Everyone has a role under the Crazy umbrella. All right.
And that's why it works together. We work.
You guys do work, so I want to see you back. Jackie and the Crazies with the shirts next time, right? Thank you, guys.
Thank
Brian.
you.
It was nice to meet you.
Likewise. They were great, weren't they? That's the second time that we've had Jackie on the show. She always delivers, and we look forward to hearing what they're going to do next, and maybe what they're going to replace Rim-to-Rim with. Still so many things that you all can come out to the South Rim and do in the absence of Rim-to-Rim. There's so many great hikes that you could put together, so I'm not going to stop saying it. If you had plans to do Rim-to-Rim, you had your tickets booked to come out to the Grand Canyon, still come out. There are still iconic, bucket list worthy adventures that you can do from the South Rim and ending on the South Rim. And if you have any questions, I'll help you. I would love nothing more than to help you figure out what is best for you and your group, or you personally. Whatever it is, just reach out anytime, because that's what we're here for. Helping everyone have their best possible Grand Canyon experience. And of course, we're all sad that the North Rim is closed, and that was my last Rim-to-Rim that I did that next morning. But I've, found that besides the traditional South Rim hikes like Rim to River, there are so many great things you can do on the off-corridor trips, off-corridor trails as well. So I'm happy to help. We've talked about it a lot on previous episodes of the podcast as well. So go back and listen to those, and get in our Hike Club Grand Canyon Facebook group, where we can talk about all this stuff as well, or just send me a message. I remember that next day, by the way, after I left Jackie and headed back to my room and got barely any sleep. I think it was less than an hour, and it was restless sleep at that. But that was my last Rim-to-Rim that I did the next morning as well, North Kaibab to South Kaibab. And God, I miss it so much. I miss it so much. And can't wait till we can get back up to the North Rim and experience the majesty of the North Kaibab Trail that obviously was devastated by the fire. We don't know to what extent, but nothing can take away the majesty of it. It'll be back. All right, let's talk about Coach Arnie. Arnie Fonseca Jr., our resident exercise physiologist and canyon coach, here to talk this time about health versus fitness. May sound like the same thing, but turns out it's not. Here's Arnie.
So here's a Coach Arnie rule. I would rather you be 100% healthy versus 80% fit. Look, you're under pressure. You got a big trip. For some of you, this is it. You're coming from a long way. You've invested money. plane fees, all kind of thing, time off from work. So I get it. And you're not sure, have I done enough? Have I done enough? The trap then is that last minute push. My advice, don't do it. Don't do it. Look at your training. You either did enough or you didn't. Catching up is a fool's bet. Did you hear me? Catching up is a fool's bet. That's how injuries happen. That's how overtraining happens. So here's my last bit of advice. Trust your training, rest, or modify your trip, or don't go. That's pretty much it. Because if you try to hammer through and get injured and then try to do the ibuprofen or the cortisone shuffle, that's a loser's bet as well. And you're risking your health. So again, these are some tips for you last minute thinkers and hikers and adventurers. And I hope it helps. I love you and I want you to have great adventures and I want you to come back. Love you guys.
Coach Arnie Fonseca Jr., his contact information, as always, is in the show notes of every episode. That includes his phone number, so feel free to reach out to Coach. He is there to help anytime and can help you with your Grand Canyon adventure and especially with getting ready for it. So reach out. All right, that is it for now. A lot of memories that we look back on with this one. Stirred up a lot of memories for me, the Grand Canyon Lodge and the North Rim, and won't stop saying it. Can't wait to get back there. We will get back there at some point. All of us will. It is going to happen. My name is Brian Special, encouraging you, as always, to go hike the canyon. You can do it. Take that first step. Embrace the journey. And when you get there, whether it's for time goals or taking your time, just hike your own hike and savor every step in the magnificent Grand Canyon. We'll see you next time on the Grand Canyon Hiker Dude Show, powered by hiKin. Please support the brand that supports this show at hikin.club. That's HIKIN.club.